Hello, everyone. I hope my voice is audible to everyone. So, just we are waiting for few people to join in. We'll start the webinar in another 2 minutes. Uh, Meanwhile, let me set up the expectation for this webinar. So, this webinar is targeted for those who are directly or indirectly associated with Microsoft Dynamics, have been using the older version, or have got associate consultants or customers who are working on the older version of the Dynamics. And in parallel, uh, they are looking for the online cloud application. Now, certain things which I would like to mention out is, in case if you have any questions, please put it on chat. I'll address them one by one once I complete my session. Uh, in case if you have any other further questions, you can reach out to Venkat or me or Rehan so that we can answer you even after completion of the session. So another minute to go. Let me share my screen. And meanwhile, if you feel that you're not able to hear me properly, or in case if you have any issues with the presentation, you can put it on chat. We'll assist you. So thanks everyone for joining up this session. Thanks for the valuable time. Like as I said, this is all about your move to the SaaS application, that is Business Central from NAV. So it's all about ensuring that you are using the right platform while you're evolving with the business you're growing. So setting up the expectation right. Uh, Today's session is majorly targeted for the management on who and what are the reasons that an organization should migrate to the cloud operations rather than how it can be done. Because most of us can find the how over the internet. There are a lot of explanations which are there from Microsoft. But at the same time, it is very important that why we should migrate. So we all know that in today's scenario, the business dynamics are completely changed, and it does not work in a traditional way. Everyone is talking about digitalization and automation, which are the key pillars for success. Now, modern day problems come around with quick turnarounds and automation of data processing. And it's an important decision between the OPEX and CAPEX. So while we are on a CAPEX model, it is highly capital intensive, and then there are a lot of resources which are required to maintain the application. On the other hand, the SaaS application is a complete OPEX based application, scalable, use when and how much you require, which gives you the strength for self sustainability, protection against the threats like ransomware. It's scalable, and alerts, which are very important parameters for any great organization. So the point is, you can grow, but you cannot scale and expand without modern day cloud, considering all the compliances like GSR, GDPR, your IFRS, your data protection, etc., etc. So you need to move from an on-premise application to a cloud-native flexibility application, which also helps you in measurable risk deductions and help you scale your business as your business complexity grows. Now, important thing is that since Microsoft take cares of the upgrades, There is a zero cost on upgrades moving into the cloud. And the automation and AI helps you in making a better decision making capability. Lower manual workloads, which means faster processing and possibly lower headcounts for repetitive tasks. And more importantly, it empowers team to move from manual reactive processes to proactive approaches and decision making insights. So it's all about the difference between the ask and tell. So the modern day cloud application tells you or helps you to your answers that what should be done, how it should be done, and what are the key resultants for that. Just for an example, there is a considerable difference when you move into the cloud, whether it is a sales order entry, whether it is GRN, whether it's month end closing, your reporting. You can see there is a tremendous gain on the efforts that have been put on the previous version current versus the current application. Now, comparing the tangible benefits, we all know that the upgrade path is like move from 4 to 9, 9 to 13, 13 to 15, and 15 to 17, 18, and then we move into the cloud. So it's a typical upgrade path. What we don't know is that there is a lot of capital which is already, invested, and Microsoft is no further, investing into NAV as a product, which means the company keeps on paying for the server storage, the backup, recoveries, load balancing, security, databases, and upgradation services. Contrary to which, the new features launched in every 6 months are by de facto available in the new solution. Industry and regulatory compliances are automatically updated. New analytical approach, new AI based, Copilot based features are getting added. You don't have to maintain infra, you don't have to take big backups, no plugins, no manual efforts. And then the ecosystem helps you. It is predominantly integrated with Outlook, Teams, Excel for better collaboration, better, faster work, and it helps in adoption, quick adoption. Now, as I said, there's a difference between the ask and tell. So we need to ask these questions before we execute the migration. But do you want to migrate with data? Because rearrangement has to be made as per the new structure and functionalities. Do you want to carry the old customization for which the standard functionalities are available in the current version? Do you feel that the processes have improved since last when you implemented NAV in your organization? So there is a change management also, which means it should, the organization should be ready for business process re-engineering. And do you really think that the existing data needs quality check and cleansing? So these are very typical tasks. And as per the best practices adopted worldwide, people have moved with masters, open transactions, and open balances, which means the historical transactional data should be moved, should be archived, should be, created a data warehouse from where the reporting and analysis could be created. Why? Because as per the regulatory compliances for different countries, 3, 4, 5, 10 years of data, historical data needs to be maintained for trend analysis, for cross references, and for the government compliances in terms of the report formats. So if you look at it, D365 is just not an application, it's an umbrella highly integrated with each other, whether you need something for identity, security, and compliances, whether you need applications, whether you need to develop over the Power Platform, whether you want to take an analytical route with Microsoft Fabrics, you want D365 apps like Outlook, Excel, Word, PowerPoint presentation, so on, or you want to collaborate like Teams. And then, there are other suites application available in the umbrella. And the good part is the complete ecosystem has been integrated with Copilot. So Copilot as a layer is sitting on top of each and every application to give you or rather empower you from the AI, artificial intelligence point of view. And I always, believed, and I have seen it at the grassroots level, that it is not a just a chat based AI that Microsoft is providing in cloud application. It's more generative, it's more reactive, it's more proactive, and it gives you the power to autofill your data, which reduces the manual intervention while filling up any form like sales order, purchase order, sales invoice, purchase invoice, and so on. So it gives you those best choices as per the application has learned over a period of time and the available data sets. And importantly, with cloud, since everything is integrated, the Microsoft Power Pages, Power Automate are deeply integrated with Business Central as an application. Now it's a low code or a no code based applications, which helps you in creating pages, in creating structures, in creating extensions to the people outside the organization in a very layman terms. And obviously you don't need to learn coding about it. It's just the logical thing that you can achieve with. So, if we compare both the solutions in terms of functionality, it has got a better user experience and accessibility. It has got updates and upgrades which are automatic in nature. The customizations and extensions are more, easy and auto in nature, which means you, rather than going into the core, you are doing the extensions and customizations at the layer which is attached with the core. More importantly, being a part of the ecosystem, a lot of partners like us are developing apps which are very much acceptable on Business Central. So maybe something related to certain functionalities, maybe plant and maintenance, maybe quality, maybe something related to QR codes, treasury. Now these applications are available to you, maybe free, maybe at certain cost, with the partners who have developed it. Built on service oriented architecture, the application has got more powerful integration features. Power BI as a part of the product is embedded into the application itself. So you don't need to go into the multiple logins to have a data analysis being done. The automation and productivity enhancements are quite subtle, and they are more, they are highly user friendly. Scalability and deployment, it's very fast rather than going into the traditional old way of NAV. The scalability or maybe the expansion is quite easy. It can be extended and used anywhere across the globe. And then at the most important, the ownership or the maintenance is quite low compared to what the older models have been with the older models. Now that is about the functionalities. Talking about the features, the core features, are more or less same, that is related to finance, sales, and purchase. But then there are a lot of new features which are coming in terms of manufacturing, supply chain, your project management, your reporting, and even, as I said, the customizations are far more easier in Business Central itself, which means it has got more deep integration capabilities. And as it is on cloud, it can be extended across multiple locations to the remote users quite easily. And as I said, the half yearly updates are being regularly released by Microsoft, which means there are new features which are coming in. So just like sales agent, there is payable agent, there is quality control which is coming in, advanced autofills by Copilot, reschedule production orders with safety lead time, your eDoc versioning controls. If you integrate OneDrive, it can store with OneDrive also. So one of the key things which comes with Business Central is a single sign-on. So across different applications, you have single sign-on, which makes integration not only very easy, secured, but also you don't need to think about it. You don't need to worry about anything. Then there is sustainability, which is a new feature which has come in, right? And it is moving towards sustainability accounting also, where you can, capture the carbon credits and really, get something by selling those credits. And that's, if that the audit can be done on this application itself, subcontracting and co-pilot. Now, what are the frequent asked questions, right? Based on our experience into similar setup. So, who should go for migration? So, anyone who is using the versions which are 2017, 2018, or maybe the earlier versions till 2004 are eligible to migrate. And what are the reasons, if you look at it, to migrate? Obviously, Microsoft support policy has come to end of the life. And you need to maintain these applications because they are the real drivers for your organization in terms of business. So it helps you in continuous evolution. It helps you in scalable practices. And then, with modern day technology, which is, the businesses are beyond, any countries or boundaries. You need to ensure the the tax compliances, the XBRL, the IFRS compliances, which are very, very important. Now, reason to choose cloud, it's very simple. Maintaining hardware is simply old school, right? You need to take the advantage of the SaaS program, and you don't need to worry about the security, the load balancing, the version availability, the upgrades, and even you don't need to maintain resources, whether it is human resources or it is the infrastructure or the hardware. So how it helps you with your business? It helps you in scalability, accessibility, the user friendliness of the application, and extensibility on other areas like Outlook, on Word, Excel. It is seamlessly integrated. Now, one of the things which we really, found while working with a lot of upgrades was there are certain areas which have improved tremendously. Stockouts, overstocking, where the actual capital is getting engaged, the lost sales, wrong packaging, or expiry or damages. So money saved is obviously the money earned. Pros and cons for migration could be, pros could be business as usual, no change in the process, non-utilization of the features, which is obviously the 80/20 rule, and existing customizations being getting migrated. Cons, even redundant customizations will be migrated. Even your whole data will be available into the new system. So we are not saying that if you migrate with data, your data would not be available. But then there needs to be some work done on the data, some cleaning and messaging, so that it gets adjusted with new functionality and features in the cloud application. Your redundant transactions that needs to be looked upon, longer process, because obviously it's a time taking process going with data. Otherwise, if we go with the opening balances and open transactions, it won't take more than 1.5 months, 2 months, considering the testing and training. And then, there is a no defined methodology for customization migration that needs to be looked in, that needs to go through the typical cycle of requirement gathering, understanding, and then, mapping those as a part of the standard versus customizations. So it is very, very important that we have to take a decision whether we are going with customizations or we are going without customizations. As an organization, Rebus, we have worked into various sectors, whether it is manufacturing, whether it is public sector, your farms, your development sector, your NGOs, your retail, telecom, construction, publication, and other industries. We have done more than 50 plus upgrades. We have seen 99.4% time uptime for the application. There's a 23% on ROI. We have done more than 900 plus users we have trained on the upgrade application. We have seen a 15% growth in the sales for the organization. They have those who have adopted for cloud. And There's 0% manual intervention. Now, this is very, very big statement, and this is something that we are quite proud about. Talking about value proposition, we have certain applications which we have built on top of Business Central, like employee experience management, your complete hire to retire, which includes your timesheet, expense, your leave, performance, attendance, payroll, learning and development, succession planning, your vendor portal. So planning, requisition, your planning committee, your bidding, your sourcing, your disposal, and your vendor login. So vendor gets directly associated without being there within the application. Then your contract management with your donors, your donor reportings and risk analysis, your B2B portal for supply chain, increasing your sales for field sales, your credit notes, your customer ledgers, automatic rule applications for like price and discount, your salesperson location tagging, your dispatch schedules, your inventory transfers from one depot to another depot, and then payment collections. So one of the key example is that we know as an organization how much payment has this salesperson collected from the market. So rather than relying on the older way that they come to us and say that this is the money that they have collected, we have an application on planning and budgeting, whether your strategic planning, your budget versions, your revenue budgets, investment budgets, expense budgets, and cost center based budgets. Your farm operation management, whether it is poultry, livestock, agriculture, aqua, feed, abattoir. Your construction management, extending it to BOQ, tendering, quotation comparison, and budget approvals. And then we have also come up with WhatsApp integration where the field force can create your sales orders and requisitions via WhatsApp. So they just simply need to chat and the odd sales order or a requisition will be created. So that's all from on this session from our side. Uh, we are giving few takeaways. Uh, you know, whether the first five applicants would get a free audit with process improvement assessment and 5 hours of support. Another five would get free audit with process improvement guide, and the third five will get free audit. You can reach out to us at this email or mobile number, or you can also get associated with our broadcast for the blogs like SAP versus Dynamics 365, Dynamics 365 BC versus F&O, your QuickBooks versus D365, achieving reverse traceability with QR codes, and how Copilot revolutionized the Business Central. With this, since we are limited on time, uh, I would open up the session for Q&A, and I'll be very happy if you have any questions which we could answer. So, are there any questions you would like us to answer? Rehan, do we need to enable the audio for everyone, or it is already enabled?
They have. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, they only accept our message.
So your voice is not clear, but anyways, uh, do anyone have a question which we can answer?
Currently, not questions are questions. Just wait for a few minutes.
Any questions for us? Okay, so we have one question. Yeah, please go ahead, Mike. Yes, Mike. Mike, I've allowed you to talk. Do you have any questions? Mike, I have allowed you to speak. I agree.
Hey, Shiv,
Yeah. You have any questions?
are you able to hear me, Shiv?
Yes, yes, I am.
Okay. So, what are the usual challenges when you try to move from MS Dynamics NAV to D365?
Okay. So if I could, there are a lot of challenges, but majorly, the top three challenges are if you are moving with data that needs to be evaluated in terms of the data quality and the available customizations. The second challenge is the upgrade path. It is like step one, step two, step three, step four. You cannot reach step four without going from step one to step two. Sometimes, the customizations are not so good. So there could be a rollback which will impact the timeline. And the third and the most important thing is, the business process reengineering or the change management. So these are three important challenges that we have faced, in the past.
Okay. But let me just ask you this question because this is a very typical question, Shiv. So, businesses who are using right now or still maintaining Dynamics would say
Mhm.
like, why would I need to move to D365 when everything is working? So
Okay,
what
because yeah, because Microsoft has already announced that NAV is the end of life. At a given point of time, Microsoft only supports the two versions for any product. And since it does not fall into that rule, so there are no developments, there is no support, there are no enhancements which are going to take place in the older version.
okay. But let's say, for example, Shiv, a a present customer would just say, "I'll just move to another ERP right now."
Mhm.
Um, it may not be SAP because I know it's quite expensive. But um, what would be our pressing point to just simply say like, "Hey, you just have to move directly to D365 because it's better as compared to just simply moving on to another kind of vendor product."
Okay, so there could be a lot of reasons. One of the most compelling reason that I find is the kind of ecosystem that Microsoft has created. You know, it is something which is far more better productive than any other ERP. Now look at, you have got a Office, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, deeply integrated. You have got Outlook, which is integrated. We have got Teams, which is integrated. Even your MS projects for those organizations who are using the project-based organizations. And importantly, it is secured because it comes with a single sign-on. So, these are very high rated reasons for someone to choose Microsoft over any other ERP.
Thank you, Shiv. This will be my last question. Whether there's already that kind of end of life declared by Microsoft, but if they say the good thing about Microsoft now is that it's actually one of the best for on-prem
Mhm.
and it's not cloud dependent. Is that something like a correct statement from MS Nav user?
Uh, See, if you look at the 5-year TCO of on-premise versus cloud, it is something which will come to close, around there's a 200% of cost incurred maintaining an on-premise application. So just imagine if you are putting, let's say for example, 100K USD on the NAV. In comparison, you're putting just 50K on cloud. You've got, relevant 50K available with you, which you can use it for your capital expenditure of your business. So it's not, only related to being, old school. That's okay. But then look at the cost of business that you will be, having. So you have to have functionalities. There are completely, new laws which are coming up every day probably. And these changes have to be done manually onto the system itself. On the contrary, if you are in cloud, you don't need to worry about it. Microsoft is updating those functionalities by default. So all you need to do is go and configure those functionalities and start using it out.
Thanks, Shiv. Thanks, Shiv. And
Yeah, you have any question?
this would be my last question, Shiv, because I'm just trying to compose myself. If let's say, for example, the company has bits and or a lot of different kinds of apps running, but they don't have a true ERP, what would be these factors that would influence them to really decide to modernize their ERP? I'm just asking in general.
Okay, so the one of the beautiful answer it could be is that if they have got different applications, it will be very important that they have to create an integrated seamless story. Because look at the effort loss, data loss, manual repetitions, manual errors in those disintegrated island of information. So it is highly important for those organizations to have a IT strategy or a ERP strategy in place, because everything is correlated with each other. Finance being the epicenter, your sales, your purchase, your production, your inventory, your supply chain, your HR, everything is interlinked. So you cannot afford to have island of information. Islands of information means disintegrated environment. uh, Decision making authorities are segregated, which makes different power centers within the organization. Your decision making capabilities are stuck big time, because every department has to coordinate with each other to bring in that report to the management. And then the whole tat your turnaround time gets impacted big time.
Thank you, Chef. Thank you. I like the idea of being able to interlink everything and keeping things that would keep the operation simpler and even much better. Okay.
Thank
So
you.
simply streamlining things. Thank you, Chef. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate your answers.
Thanks. Any other questions from the audience? Okay, so there's a question which was asked by Mike, that what are the risks if we don't face or we don't upgrade? I just answered that question. It's the end of life for NAV, and all the compliances and the securities and the upgrades will not be made available to you. And there, we could connect something more in detail. How long a typical migration takes place? If it is a standard vanilla migration, it takes usually 1.5 months, including the testing and training. Uh, Else, if it is a customization with data, then probably that needs to be looked upon, because it does not have any tentative methodology. Any other questions from? Okay, so we'll just wait for another couple of minutes and then we will wrap up the session. Uh, Special thanks to everyone for joining up the session. We appreciate your time, and we would be, in case if you need anything, we'll be, you can reach out to us, uh, whether to Mr. Rehan, Mr. Venkat, or to me. We'll be very happy to help you out with. So, Amanda, one of the key benefits is that you get a